All right, welcome guys to the 22nd episode of the Talkaholics podcast. I'm Raazia.
I'm Iman.
And this episode we went through quite a few topics. I think we started off with Iman's review of the latest Spider-Man movie, which was called Into the Spider-verse, was it?
Into the Spider-verse? Into the multiverse? Into the...
Something like that. You know the one we're talking about, the animated one. That
it was great.
Recently. And so we talked a little bit about that. I have yet to see that one, but I'll definitely include my review in one of the following episodes. But we go into quite a few things after that. Like, we talk about the myers-briggs personality test, which I'm kind of a little bit crazy over, but not really.
A little bit.
Still. I kind of give you an update on the Tell Me a Story TV series that I recently started, and I'm on the second episode, so not much progress, but, you know, it's fast for me nowadays. And, just things about Toy Castle, a TV show that we used to watch on
That was such the that was probably the randomest way to end our episode, but, you know, it had to be discussed.
You know what? Like, it's something, whatever. I don't regret it at all. No. But whatever. Thanks, guys, for listening in, and I hope you enjoy this one. You saw a movie that I've been wanting to see.
Oh my god, yes.
For so long.
Yes.
And okay, basically Iman saw the Spider-Man movie.
And it was amazing. I saw it with other Iman.
Mm-hmm.
Iman part 2.
Yes. Oh yes, it's second Iman.
Second Iman. Iman part 2. That makes no sense. I saw it with her the other day. And guys, it's actually amazing.
Yeah.
That movie is well deserved. Like, the Rotten Tomato score is like 90-something%.
Yeah, is it?
And it's deserved. It was so good. Animation, phenomenal.
She said it right, guys. You heard it here first. Where's that from?
No.
No, I don't get You need to tell me that reference later.
From the Muppets.
Well, I don't know this one. We'll play the track in the back so that I know what it is later. She's killing it right now, though. Just so you know, she's really jamming to it.
Anyways,
beautiful.
So the animation was phenomenal.
Yeah.
It was comedic, it was sad, it was just great in all its everything, and the storyline, loved it. The whole idea of it, the multiverse and all these different Spider-Mans coming, it was so
Into
and
the
woman
Spider-verse.
and pig and all of them. They were so cute, and
because Spider-Gwen's in it, and then
Spider-Gwen's in it, Spider-Pig's in it, Peter Parker's in it, and
what was that face?
Yeah, I can't tell you. I don't want to spoil it for you.
Okay.
And there's a twist. There's multiple twists in the movie, and the music, everything. Like, I think the one thing I fell in love with the most was the animation. Like,
yeah,
it was so good.
One of the
so
things
well done
when this first came out, and like for me, the ratings, how this gets. You know, how it does in the box office, everything, none of this will be surprising to me, because when that first trailer hit, I remember looking at it thinking, oh, this is just a fan-made one, because that style of animation, I've seen it be so popular on Tumblr, and you know, like if like DeviantArt, all these other places, because it's more of an indie style, like a lot of games look like that, because if you notice, it's kind of digitized and stuff. I've never seen like a mainstream movie or company take on an artist that would do that kind of a style. So I was mind blown that it was an actual Spider-Man movie going with this style, and it's no real people in it, and like I don't know, I was just overwhelmed by it. So from that first kind of look, none of what you're saying is like anything new to me. I'm like, I know it will be.
And good. I love how they incorporated, like, because obviously it came from a comic book, right? So they really incorporated the whole the whole comic book theme in the movie, which I really enjoyed. And obviously, like, I'm not as much of a Marvel / comic book fan as Raazia is, so I know you will really love it. If I loved it, you're gonna, like, be over the moon.
I know.
And I'm not even a big Marvel fan either, so, but I enjoyed it so much. And I also love the fact that there was a black Spider-Man. You know what I mean?
Do you know how that character came to be?
No.
So it's a recent, like, they created that that character actually in the comics itself, but it was in the past, not a few years, maybe 5 years max. But basically, that character was actually inspired by Childish Gambino.
Oh, no way.
Because he, like, in his beginning of his career, like, during Community days, he used to always say in interviews, like, my dream is to play Spider-Man, and is to be him. And I just, like, I've always loved Spider-Man growing up. So, I guess whatever comic artist was writing, like, one of the Spider-Man comics developed him. I forgot what his name is, the actual character.
Cool.
But it's based on, it's based on
That's
Childish
awesome.
Gambino.
I actually loved it because, and, like, his history is really, like, interesting because his mom is, like, Latina, and I think his dad's black, and, like, it's just cool to see that because you don't see that usually in all the other Spider-Man movies. Yeah, it was nice. I really liked it.
Which is why, if you remember, did you watch the other Spider-Man movie, the one with the real person?
Like the Amazing Spider-Man?
No, not the Andrew Garfield one. The one, Tom, whatever his name is. The one.
Oh,
right
no,
after.
I didn't see that one, no.
In that one, Childish Gambino is in that.
Oh, yeah.
And he makes, like, he has, like, a small character, but the whole reason why is because they're referencing the fact that, like, he ends up being the reason for one of those characters. Like, he plays a relative of that character that's in this movie. So, as like a you get it cameo kind of thing.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
it's really intertwined there. So I have yet to see it because I have a friend that I typically go to see all Marvel movies with, Mason.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like really busy right now, so basically waiting for her to be free to go. Because we've seen a lot of premieres together, actually.
So good.
Whenever you're free, Ramesa. I'm waiting for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not surprised by that rating whatsoever. And I guess the next podcast that happens, I'll be screaming about it.
Hopefully.
Too. The other thing that I was introducing Iman to actually right before this podcast recording is something that you guys are probably familiar with, probably in your social studies class in high school. But I'm kind of obsessed and have been obsessed with this Myers-Briggs personality test. That actually, if you go onto Google right now and type in 16 personalities, there's like a whole website dedicated to this shit. Yeah. So if you're curious. And I usually ask people to take this test when I know they're probably going to get a score I think they're going to get. So because I know a lot of ENFPs. So basically how this personality test works is that you, at the end of the test, get a 4-letter acronym that each one of those letters tells you something about yourself. So the first letter, it tells you if you're extrovert or introvert, so you get an I or an E. The next one is intuition or something else. Is it feelings? No, the next one is.
Oh.
It's intuition and something.
N. What's N?
No, N is intuition. They just change out the I. Is intuition. And then the next one is feeling versus thinking. And the last one is judging versus perceiving. So I'm an ENFP, which means I'm an extrovert. Intuition.
Oh, it's imagination, right?
You think so?
Right? Because that's why they made intuition N. Because they're both I's.
Or I think it's sensing because people have ISTPs. So.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Yeah. So okay. But yeah, and I did this at work recently actually because I work with someone who has a completely different personality to me in terms of like even her role, what she does at work, what she's interested in. We're almost very completely different people. And so when I asked her, I was like, I'm super curious. She's an INTP, which is a super rare personality type.
Oh really?
Yeah, ours is kind of rare too. We're 7% of the population. She's 3.
Oh, shoot.
So even less. And
so what's everybody else?
The majority is. I was actually reading this yesterday. Holy crap! But there's one that's like a good chunk of. I think they're called the logisticians. They're just like kind of everyday busy bees, like the regular worker. Anyway, it's not even the important part, but. Yeah, I like reading into this stuff, and you guys like really need to check out that 16 Personalities website if you're curious. Take the quiz yourself. Iman did it just
I just did it right before you recorded.
She did the shorthand version of it.
Yeah, because 10 minutes, girl. We got time.
And she did it, and she got ENFP too, which I'm not surprised about.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all that we have the same personality type.
Not at all, because like again, like I feel like if you have a specific personality type, chances are you attract people who are very much like you. So my sister-in-law is the same type. I have a cousin who's the same type. Tahir, he's the same type. Like, there's just a lot. I usually tell those people to take it, so I'm like, I know you already. But, like, yeah. And like, look into it more. I think you're, like, read a little bit, and you're, like, super already, like, this is pretty accurate.
It's pretty accurate, actually, which is kind of scary.
Yeah.
But I remember when I was taking, like, I can't even imagine taking the full length one, because even this short one was like, I don't know what to pick, because they only give you 2 options.
And some of the questions are really like almost mysterious. Like they're just kind of like,
what do you mean by that?
Yeah, you're like, what do I pick, actual or potential?
Yeah, like, what does that mean?
You're just choosing a word over the other, basically.
But I still think it was pretty accurate to what I believe myself to be.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's nice to see that I'm kind of doing the right thing in life. Because based on, what this quiz has told me.
Yeah, it gives you career suggestions and everything. Yeah. Like, basically, if you go, like, read the full thingy, like, I'll send it to you later about, like, what it tells you need to do with your career. They'll give you, like, so for ENFPs, it says, like, basically any art kind of related field, communications media is what it can give you. Everything from culinary arts to, like, whatever. But the one thing the other website tells you is that because we have such almost like ADD interests and we kind of like starting one project even though we're on one already kind of thing, is to do one of 2 things: do an entrepreneurship or a consultancy, because those are 2 roles that naturally give you those things. Like you're always moving on to the next thing, kind of thing, with those things and like.
That's one thing that is very true to myself. I feel like, and I don't remember who I was talking to about reading an article about millennials and their role in the workforce and how they can't sit still for long, based on compared to traditional workers, like older workers now, because our work now is more precarious, so there's more contract jobs, and so we're forced to kind of move around a lot, and that has made us kind of adapt that kind of thinking, like we're not going to stay in one place for too long, versus like my mom has been in her work for over 20 years kind of thing. So that kind of was brought up in the description of this personality, where you're kind of looking for something new to do, because you can't sit still in one project for too long. And I think that's very, very true to myself, and something I've been struggling, that Raazia knows with, for quite some time, and still am struggling with.
No, I think that would be like a lifelong thing for me. Only because like I've known that about myself, in that because there's like a description of ENFPs that is not that we have a hard time choosing career paths, not because we can't do something or we don't think we're a right fit for it. It's because there's too many cool things out there.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's like I want to try all of these things, and I want to do it all at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. Which is, and
totally, I want to try it. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like, I don't know if it's just me, but like I feel like staying in one place, I'm closing myself off to so many opportunities everywhere in the world, and not just in Toronto. And like there's so many and I guess it's my own fault, because I do research all the time about all the other opportunities that are available to me. Yeah. But there's so much out there that I could be, taking advantage of at this time in my life. But then there's also the rational part of myself that's kind of like,
you gotta be stable.
You gotta
figure something out now. Commit, all this stuff. Yeah, man. And like I think though, just kind of relating to this topic, I think I've come to a point with being an ENFP and having that kind of ADD interest, that's just kind of how it's gonna be, and I've kind of like embraced it. I think there's a certain point though, like in high school especially, where I was like, no, you have to be a person in a specific lane doing a specific thing, which now I've kind of embraced. Like, look, you're gonna be jumping around. Again, I think there's a good thing about the work world for millennials right now, of like, yes, you're not gonna really see ever anyone have a employment experience of sitting in a job for 40 plus years anymore. That just does not exist because of contract-based work. But I kind of like that, because I mean, like, it kind of is unstable. It sucks from a financial perspective, but like just from being able to experience all sorts of industries, all sorts of people who fields of work, and given my personality, I'm like kind of accepted it, so it's been okay. But anyways, like, even, like, the people I look up to in, like, the creative world, like, Childish Gambino, we were just talking about him. Talk about a guy who's literally done and tried everything. Exactly. And because, like, I want that, though. I exactly want a career that he's been great enough to have.
But I mean, like, he also is able to do that because of the opportunities that are, like, it's because of what he already has accomplished. You know what I mean? Sure, yeah. Like, being so high profile has opened so many doors for him, and I feel like he doesn't really have to worry too much about what we worry about, because he kind of has it covered, financial wise, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But if we lived a life like Childish Gambino, not that he didn't work for it, he worked
No.
for it 100%, so he's
No, that's
entitled to
different.
all the stuff that
Yeah.
he has, you know, done. But if only we had a fraction of that, where we didn't
No.
really have to worry about
For
all the
sure.
other things.
And I think he took, though, a bunch of risks in his career. Because,
Of course,
I mean, like, if I remember right, he did, like, a lot of improv growing up in, like, school and stuff, and then went into things like Community and was kind of focusing on acting for a bit. And then did the comedy stand-up stuff along with becoming Childish Gambino, like, becoming a rapper. So those three things were happening at once, but then
that's a lot.
There was, like, remember that kind of news about him not wanting to be part of music anymore? Then he did Atlanta, which is, like, directing and writing a TV show.
And he's in it.
Yeah, exactly. He fell out of Community around the same time, too. Didn't want to do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, he has made, like conscious decisions to leave things that we're happy that were good. Yeah, that were doing good for him, too, exactly. Right? There's nothing wrong with him doing stand-up at that time. It's just his, like, point in, like, he goes through phases of, like, I'm just over it. Yeah. And he'll just drop things. Yeah.
Which, I mean, is can be good and bad. Like, I feel like if you make a commitment to something, you stick it out. But, which is, again, part of my struggle. So, but I agree. Like, I feel like if I had the freedom to make that choice, which technically I do have the freedom to do it, but, you have all these other things that you're thinking about that kind of tie you down to your decisions. It would be easier to do if you just had had that peace of mind.
It's easier said than done. Mm-hmm. Like when it comes to like making career choices like that, I think Iman and I would both be in different places right now all together if we could make those jumps.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I'm just like pointing to someone's career. Even Tom Ford, like I don't know if you know, but he like the guy who owns the fashion company, Tom Ford. He not only runs that as like a creative director, but he also writes and directs movies, or writes movies. He's a screenwriter. So he did that one with Amy Adams that she was in. It was like kind of a darker movie that happened recently. Oh my god. He's written 2 movies that were both Oscar nominated.
That's crazy.
So tell me, like, how lucky do you have to be in life? He's also, like, he's good looking. He's a good looking guy. He's Tom Ford, first of all, and, like, owns and runs a really, like, a fashion company that's doing really well and gets to write movies.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, one thing opens up doors for you.
And he's talented, though. Like, it's not
But that's the thing. Like, that's why it's great for, like, people who are celebrities when they get to explore their other interests but the fact is they were already celebrities, and then that's what opened the door up for them.
Yeah.
Not that they didn't... It doesn't mean that they don't work hard to achieve it. It just means that I feel like they have it a little easier in terms of getting their foot through that door.
Yeah.
Compared to...
The movie was Nocturnal Animals. That came out in 2016. And then A Single Man he made in 2009, which also, again, got, like, amazing actors in both. So he didn't really ever start small. He's only had, like, just huge successes with everything he's had, which, talk about a career, I'm, like, completely envious of. The fact that he gets to have those 2 worlds is, like, phenomenal. But, again, because I look up to those types of people, that I now understand that having the personality types is fine. If we're just always interested in everything all the time. Yeah,
I mean, it can be, like, a little challenging.
Yeah.
Definitely, because have you ever seen, like, that, I don't know if I saw it on Twitter or on Facebook, but it was just, like, this, post that says, like, you grew up, or, like, I grew up being good at a lot of things, but not being great at one thing.
Yes.
Have you ever seen that?
And
that's how I always felt growing up, like, I don't have a specific talent. Like, I can't sing. I mean, I can't sing. That's true. Yeah. But, like, or, like, I'm not professionally trained to dance. I am not artistic in terms of, like, I can't visually, I can't draw. But, like, if I were to try really hard, I can potentially do these things okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
No.
Or, like, I'm interested in all these things, but I'm not 100% great at everything. Yes. Like, someone who has, like, really, really talented in one specific thing.
Yeah.
So, that, it can be a little discouraging at times, but...
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, whatever. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
There was one thing I was going to mention, too, that completely left my mind, but that's okay, because we'll move on to this TV show that we brought up a few podcast episodes ago. Tell Me a Story. I recommended to you and told you about it. You have yet to watch it still.
Yeah, I know, I'm busy.
Just a quick update on that. I am on the 2nd episode. Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the episodes are really long. I think they're about an hour each, hence why it's taking me forever to get through it. given that I've been so busy too. I've been so busy too, and I watch it with someone, so I kind of have to wait for when they're free. The second episode was good. I think I liked the first a lot more only because well, it's an episode that you get introduced to that huge cast that I was saying. So it was a lot more like it was a lot of new things happening at once, which kind of it is a lot different than the second episode, which really is trying to just set it's that part of the show right now where they're setting up for other things that will eventually be the finale of the show of the season. Do you know what I'm saying? So a lot of just dialogue for the sake of dialogue, a lot of just like in between things. So not as like impactful as the first episode was by any means.
Yeah.
But still good. Like I still like seeing how they manage to juggle all those like different plot lines and how they're slowly changing the different characters as we know them, even though we just kind of got introduced to all of them. Still like the show. I noticed though online, like it's getting shit on big time. Like the ratings for this are not great.
But why?
And so I have like kind of theories around this. It's because of the concept of the show comes off as like a fanfic almost, because it's because
of what though?
So basically, the show is called Tell Me a Story because it circles around 3 Grimm's Brothers tales. So Red Riding Hood, the 3 Little Pigs, and Hansel and Gretel.
Okay,
so
did not see that coming.
Because it's so subtle in the show. Like, literally, they don't reference it at all. The theme, like the intro.
So it's not like in your face, like Once Upon a Time.
No. Okay. Yes, it's not. It isn't. Yes, and they're not even named that. Like it's not. It's not ever like referenced. So I think because of that, it kind of comes off like cheesy or whatever, or had been done before, or whatever. So I think there's that, and also because none of the actors in this are. I'm trying to think. I think there's 1 or 2 I've seen before in like major shows, but no real big stars. I honestly think one of the actors in that has been in Vampire Diaries before.
Really?
Not Ian Somerhalder, the other guy.
The Stefan?
Yeah, I think he's in it.
Really?
I think he's in it. He's not recognizable.
How far he's fallen.
He really is. Yeah. This is
I don't know. I always like Damon better because he looks better.
Attractive.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's okay.
He was, sorry, this is so out of, like, not what you were talking about, but which brings up the whole idea of, like, bad boy versus the good guy.
He definitely took up that character. And I think even, like, in real life, the actor Ian Somerhalder is, like, an asshole.
No.
Isn't he? Is he not?
I don't know personally, but, like, the image he portrays is definitely not. Like, he's, like, save the animals. He's very, involved in a lot of, like, charities that involve animals and stuff like that, like, which is great, and the environment and stuff like that. But obviously, I've never met him in person, so I don't know. Yeah. Like I defended him so quickly. I was like, no. Yeah. I've never met him. I don't know. I'm sorry.
No, I've heard through well, I'm gonna say tabloid stuff. So Raazia like is probably not true, but like
Oh well,
TMZ sometimes real life. No, I didn't hear through them. I forgot where. But yeah. So far so good. Like sometimes it does like it does kind of cross the line of being a little bit too melodramatic. But I think if you can kind of get over that and understand like a lot of these actors are fresh faces, then it's like, okay, fine. Like I'm still interested in it. But yeah, I'll like as it goes, give you guys updates and let you know. If there's any other TV shows, guys, that are similar to this, that are I've been craving original stories for so long.
Me too. And, we talked about this last time.
I know.
I'm missing love. In life.
Yeah. And anytime I can get a hold of it, like I think we talked about this when we reviewed A Simple Favor, I think probably. Just movies and TV shows and things like this that I'm like,
this summer was great.
And
this summer was great for film. So, and I think upcoming now is going to be pretty good for film too, because we had like you know what? This whole like fall season into the winter has been pretty good for film.
Yeah.
Starting from like the end of the summer onwards, like we had A Simple Favor, we had Crazy Rich Asians.
Yes.
We had, what else was that around that same time?
Widows came.
Oh, well, Widows just came out recently, like 2 weeks ago maybe.
Sorry, yeah.
There's been The Hate You Give. There's been Black Klansman, which was
a little before that, but whatever.
No, like I have mixed feelings. There's been the Spider-Man movie that just came out. We have If Beale Street Could Talk.
Yes.
I still have to see that. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I think that's all I can remember right now. But we've been doing pretty good.
Yes.
Like, I feel like we went through like a drought.
Yeah,
of
honestly,
good movies.
No, not even a drought of good movies, but just too many movies
Content.
that were reruns
Like,
or
yeah.
like reboots or everyone knows this.
I'm sorry.
Iman's Apple phone.
I thought I turned you
made
off.
an appearance.
Okay.
But yeah, and there's a lot of other stuff. Like I heard this movie called Roma that I think it's called Roma or something like that. That did really well at TIFF. And it was directed by the guy who did, not Interstellar, the other movie that was space related, that George Clooney was in with Sandra Bullock.
Space? Was it called Space?
No, the one where they're floating on.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay,
I didn't watch
really
it, but
big
yeah.
director, but he basically complete flip of a story.
Yeah.
All I know is it's about a Hispanic woman, and it's like pictures I've seen of it are in black and white, and it's like a lot more of a. Yeah, I'm gonna say down to earth, but that's like so corny because I just said he made. Anyway, but
that's funny.
It's so much more like homely, and I feel like it is centered around a female person of color on purpose because it's kind of about probably race politics for a reason. So
yeah,
just the like bits and pieces I've seen from it are really interesting. And actually, TIFF they did an interesting thing on this topic. I told you about this. Around the time that TIFF was happening, they sent out to people who are like subscribers to their newsletter. Like they sent out this movie test quiz thing to give you suggestions of TIFF movies to watch.
kind of like a personality quiz, but for movies?
Based on your taste.
Yeah.
So so basically when you start the quiz, it goes like, what genres do you like? When you watch a new movie, are you more attracted by the actors or directors or by the whatever, like what kind of gets you? So like they go through all of it, ask you who your favorite directors are, all this stuff, and then at the end of it, it kind of spits out, the top 5. Like,
that's cool.
Movies you should be watching. So one of them was like If Beale Street Could Talk, which I was like, I already know I have to watch that. But the one even before that was this movie, was Roma. So I was like, I was like, dang. And it's getting a lot of Oscar buzz, so might as well watch it. I still have to watch A Star Is Born. I don't know how
me
many
too.
times
That's another movie.
I don't know how many times.
I just love I think I've listened to the soundtrack. I can't remember, but
I
there's that one song they play in the trailer.
Yeah. And we got another appearance of her singing it. It's such a treat. We're so honored.
So I love that song. As you can tell, yeah, I'm not a singer. But
you're doing a great job.
Thank you,
no
sweetie. No, but yeah, I definitely need to see that too. I was supposed to go see that with my mom, but I forgot to take her.
Oh, it's okay. It'll still be in theaters for a while, I think.
Is it still in theaters?
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
from last time I checked.
Oh, maybe I'll go watch it with her like tomorrow or something.
We'll see.
Anyways, yeah.
There's that, and another thing too that you reminded me to update on since not the last podcast from this, but 2-3 podcasts before, to talk about the Cuba Cañona thing. So like I updated you guys in a few podcasts ago about this business thing that I have started with my sister-in-law. Basically, it's a gifting service where we sell custom greeting cards and gift boxes. And Iman wanted me to kind of update on how things have been going so far. So basically, the response to our massive social media posts has been great. I've heard back from a lot of old friends, and so has my sister-in-law. Yeah. Especially since she's been living here in Canada, and people back home, and from people who went to school with her, reaching out and stuff. So seeing all that is nice. Yeah. Just all the support. So thank you guys. For all of that. But yeah, we do have our first order coming in. So basically this couple that my sister-in-law knows is getting married soon, and so they want us to be for bridesmaids gift boxes for them.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, we've been doing a lot of designing. We showed them some of the rough stuff that I made, just to show them the aesthetic, the color scheme we're thinking of, and so just going back and forth about look and stuff.
Oh, that's fun. That's exciting.
And I'm so psyched about it because it's exactly the market that we wanted to tap into, because weddings are so fun. Yeah. And especially bridesmaids boxes, I was losing my shit over it. So yeah, literally even at work, I'm texting my sister-in-law with new ideas. I'm what if you do this? And she's like, oh, okay. And I'll be making stuff rough on paper or in PowerPoint, just to be this is what I mean. This. And so she's psyched, and so am I. And so it's kind of I honestly this business thing has started because I feel with my current work and the opportunities I've had so far, they're essentially kind of limited in terms of the amount of design work I get to do, which has been frustrating. Yeah. Unlike the two things honestly giving me the outlet I need is this Talkaholics, because of the work that we get to do is super fun, and like, you know, interviewing guests and like doing work with media and stuff has been like the greatest privilege, and hopefully like this gets to a point where we get to do more. But the only other thing is this Kubo Kanyone thing. So hence why we're like working as hard as we are, and like it doesn't feel like work. That's the thing. Like I feel like I dread waking up in the morning for work, like regular my 9 to 5 work.
Mm-hmm.
But this is just like
you're
we do
excited.
A lot of work for this.
Yeah, but you're excited.
We put a lot of hour and effort in. Like we like went to Cirque just to be able to review the, you know, it on the podcast and stuff like that. But it by no means has that same kind of feeling of dread.
No, at all. That, like I'm excited to come and talk to you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so like sweet. Yeah.
And it's so and we talk about it a lot. I feel like on every single podcast about like where we want this thing to kind of go. And you want to talk about future collaborations too about.
No, well, I mean, I just want to kind of put it out there that you know we're searching.
Yeah, we're looking. No, there's a few people we have in mind that I've talked to you about that I was like, oh, this person would be super cool to kind of interview, and like people from all parts of like that artistic spectrum.
Yeah.
Everyone from art, like actual like design artists to poets to all these kinds of things. So if you guys are interested out there, you listen to us, you know, you've seen our work and want to say hi and
want to be on the show, want to talk to us about what you do and put it out there into the universe.
Yeah, even if you're podcasters yourself, like
that'd be fun. Yeah, that'd be great.
That's like that'd be pretty awesome to see like us interview each other at once.
Yeah,
that'd be like so rad. Yeah, just to meet other people who are doing exactly what we're doing.
And we do have some more, you know, interviews coming up that we've set up. So it's definitely something that we're going to continue doing in our podcast, because I think it's such a great way to, first of all, open people's minds to like what people are doing out there. Like, for example, in the wall, you know, being able for that representation to be put out there for people to understand, you know, the struggles that she goes through, and the same thing with Zara, like the things that she gets to do, and people knowing the opportunities that she has, and maybe opens up some doors for other people to do the same things.
Yeah.
And also it's just a great way to have conversations.
Yeah.
And to.
Honestly, like if you, like this Talkaholics feels like an excuse to like do the things I've always kind of thought of, like even the conversations we've had and the questions we've been able to ask and stuff. I'm like, this wouldn't have happened.
Exactly.
Like, I wouldn't have just messaged someone.
Yeah, and
like,
just ask them that.
No.
It would. Yeah, it's a great way for us to connect again and to kind of branch out to the people that we know and to see all the exciting things that they're doing as well. So it's definitely been a pleasure for, you know, the people we've already had on the podcast, and we're really excited for the next couple people that we're going to have as well. And I hope it only gets, you know, we only get to bring on bigger and bigger people.
Exactly. I know. And just like flexing that muscle of like interviewing people and stuff, like that's like it's cool to kind of build on that stuff, and like I don't know, we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, but we're excited. I guess we are kind of we're kind of excited because it's coming to the end of the year, right? So the new year is approaching.
Oh,
yeah. The new year is upon us.
Do you have any plans
for the new year? No.
No.
The reason why I say I don't have plans, I do have plans, but it's the same plans that I have every year, because New Year's Day is my parents' anniversary.
Oh yeah.
So
I forgot.
What happens is that we usually celebrate it, and also the same day is my cousin's birthday. So usually what happens is that once, you know, we do the countdown and whatever, and we go Happy New Year's, then we celebrate my parents' anniversary, we give them their gifts and stuff like that, and then we go to sleep, and then the same day we go to my cousin's birthday party.
Yeah.
But as we've gotten older, like it's usually just me. Because, like, my cousins will go out with their friends, and then recently my brother's been ditching me to go out with his friends. Aww. But then I feel bad because it's like, I don't want to ditch my parents. Like, I'm not ditching my parents. They're with my aunt and uncle, but...
Yes.
And sometimes there's other family members that come by, but... I also have other friends who do things, and they're like, come, and I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
But this year I'm like, should I go?
Oh, no.
So I have decisions to make, but...
Okay.
Yeah, what about you? Do you have any plans?
That's exciting. We usually, I mean, for me, it's kind of the same thing of, like, it's always some family event.
Yeah.
This time, I think, it's probably going to be a family thing, too, but there's, like, on Christmas Day, actually, we have, like, there's this Sri Lankan dish that, like, anyone Tamil, like, even, like, I know some Tamil people who don't know what this is. I think maybe it's, like, specific to being Sri Lankan Muslim.
Okay.
But it has a weird name, so it's called takadi, which is, like, basically... It's like pieces of dough that you make that are like little like small ball shaped things.
Okay.
That has like a little bit of a dimple in it.
Okay.
It's weird that it's like in gravy with a bunch of other like meat pieces. So it's kind of like a stew.
Okay.
And I don't know how to explain it,
Yeah.
but it's like to make those things, to make those dough pieces, it takes like a group of people to make it because you make a lot.
Yeah.
And so because like we only ever make this dish when we have some sort of family gathering. So Christmas is perfect because everyone will be home.
Yeah.
And so we're all gonna be cooking that together. And like,
oh, nice.
It's one of my favorites. Like it tastes so good when it's done.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna be doing that and probably watch a movie. I don't know which one we're gonna watch in Mod, but we usually have to pick something family friendly because the kids are over. So it's like some animated movie. Or I think one time it was like Transformers. I was like, oh. But and then New Year's, I think we have like a formal dinner though. I think we have like actual like people outside of my immediate family, so I have to be dressed and all that stuff. So not as fun. Not as like you can't just wear your pajamas.
Yeah.
Like I am right now.
Yeah.
And just be at home, but that's fine. Like for me, like I think as I get older and like lazier, I like really appreciate like the more not so like high profile events during like holidays.
The holidays,
like
yeah.
When you could just chill.
I love that. It's cold outside, right?
Food and just,
yeah, I'm perfectly fine with doing that.
Yeah, I don't need to go nowhere. I'm happy, like here. I wanted to talk about Toy Castle a little bit more since the last podcast.
Oh.
Do you remember anything about that show?
Well, Toy Castle, so basically this came up in the last podcast because we were talking about Cirque du Soleil and we were talking about the ragdoll kind of puppet.
It's a marionette.
Yeah. On the show, and then I was saying it reminded me of Toy Castle. So there was this show on,
Treehouse would have been.
No, yeah, it was Treehouse, sorry, it was Treehouse, and which is a kids channel for, only in Canada, I believe.
I think it's just Canada, yeah.
That just shows all the kids shows that you watch. So it was basically the show where like it would start off, the whole show would always start off with these two kids going to bed and like putting their toys away at this toy castle, and then when they go to bed all the toys come to life, and so the show is about the toys at nighttime. And I loved that show so much. Like it was so, they had like different characters.
I definitely had favorites, that's why I brought it up.
Yeah, they had so they had the what's it called? The Rapunzel.
The ragdoll?
Ragdoll.
Yeah, they had the toy soldier.
And
then the princess.
And the caveman dude.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
one.
and it was just funny because they don't talk. It's just like music and sounds.
Yeah.
And like they would always have like some sort of thing going on. So I remember the one episode I
Yeah,
clearly remember.
Has a beef with someone else.
Yeah, the one episode I clearly remember is the ragdoll, and she was trying to learn how to whistle.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember that episode?
No, I don't.
And like she couldn't whistle. Oh, could they talk? I think it was narrators. They didn't actually talk.
I don't. I think they probably made like sometimes they just make nonsense noises.
Yeah, and then and so she was trying to learn how to whistle, and I can't remember which character it was that was teaching her, but they kept going like, just whistle like. I can't whistle. I can, but that didn't happen. And she kept just opening her mouth really wide and going, like just blowing air. And I just remember that taught me how to whistle because like she finally learns at the end of the episode, and I'm like, I could not.
That's so cute.
But there was there was this other version of Toy Castle.
See, this is what I don't remember because you mentioned movie, and I was like, I'm sorry.
There's a movie. There was this movie version of Toy Castle.
In the meantime.
That came on like once a year, and it was so terrifying, Raazia.
Okay.
It was so terrifying. It was like a dark version of Toy Castle, and it was like a kind of reminded me of like the Nutcracker almost.
Okay.
Because it was like a ballet style thing because they were dancing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then it was just really creepy. Like the people's faces were so creepy.
The mouse one. Sorry, the mouse and the ballerina.
Wait,
and
no.
The sailor. This is the same show. This is not the
movie. Volume 1, volume. Oh yeah. The ragdoll.
Yeah.
No, but there was a really scary version. I'm telling you.
I literally typed in movie and it's giving me nothing.
It was really scary. It wasn't called Toy Castle, I don't think, but it was like similar. It wasn't the same actors, nothing.
Okay.
It was like completely different, but it was the same concept. Okay. But it was so scary. It would give me nightmares. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, that was good childhood memories.
Oh man, yeah. The one thing I was only gonna mention about Toy Castle is that my favorite on this was the red and black one, who was like kind of looked like a Joker jester.
Oh yeah,
mime.
Yeah.
That one was my favorite.
Yeah.
That little.
I remember that.
But
anyways, guys, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. We spoke about a lot, so Yeah, I mean, you know where to catch us. You can follow us on Instagram to see all the updates. We're on YouTube and SoundCloud. That's where you can see all our content. And always, as always, you can, email us.
Yeah, and like we said earlier too, if you are interested in collaborating with us and being on the podcast, reach out on, via Gmail or wherever you want to find us. Even like DM us on Instagram. That's fine with us too. We're checking everything just to be able to interact with any of you guys. So,
yeah.
More than available.
Talk to us.
Please.
Anyways, we hope you guys enjoyed, and we will talk to you guys on the next one.
See ya.
Bye.